YouTube. Hi once again. Long time no see. As you all know, I'm in Costa Rica right now studying Spanish, trying to brush up on my Spanish. Been having a lot of help doing that, practicing a lot, doing a lot of exercises, and just my level in Spanish has totally increased. It's amazing how much I've learned over this course of time. Now, today I want to talk about the 15 things that you will need to know before you come to Costa Rica. The 15 things. Now, this is 15 things that I've observed over the last few months that I've been in Costa Rica, and it might be helpful for many people out there who would like to travel to Costa Rica someday to just know these things. Alright, so let me start. Well, let's start with number one. In Costa Rica, there are bars on a lot of houses. I would say almost every house, but that would be kind of be an exaggeration. Most of the houses in Costa Rica have bars in them, and this is because of the ladrones, or the thieves in English. And Costa Ricans are very cautious and careful not to how their houses breaking into. So, like if you come to Costa Rica, you see many houses with bars on them, bars, name it. I don't know. I guess this is just the way they protect themselves. You wouldn't see this in my country, or I don't remember seeing this in any other country I've been to. So I think this is very unique to Costa Rica. I'll show you a few pictures of it. Alright, so next, number two, watch out for the bars on the buses. When you're entering a bus in Costa Rica, a public bus, they have these two bars in the doorway when you enter. So you'll have to pass the bars to enter. And the bars count how many people enter the bus and how many people exit the bus, so that the bosses of the chauffeurs, the bus drivers, would know how much money that bus driver has made for the day. So basically, this is their way of counting the amount of people that are entered the bus and the amount of money that was made. I think this is precaution so as to the bus drivers don't rip off the bosses. So, and the reason why I mention this is because it's very important. If you enter a bus and you exit the bus without reaching your destination, you have to pay again to re-enter the bus. So this happened to me one time when I was traveling from Alajuela to Heredia. I entered a crowded bus, but what I didn't know yet, was that if you enter a crowded bus and someone wants to get off at their stop, you don't get off and let them get off and then get back on without having to pay again. I didn't know. So the bus driver was trying to explain that to me. And he was nice enough to let me walk into the bus without having to pay again, which was good. But the second time it happened, this other bus driver wasn't as nice. Thing is, I had my bag. I was moving from Alajuela to Heredia, and I had a suitcase with me. And I was entering the bus, but what I had done was I had put my suitcase in first, past the bars, and the bars counted my suitcase as a person. So when I entered, the bus driver was like, no, you have to pay for two people, and obviously I had to pay for two people. That kind of sucked. But yeah, so things like that happen if you don't watch out. So if you have bags or anything, you have to actually ask the bus driver to just let you in through the back entrance instead of actually through the front entrance. Okay, so the next thing on my list, number 3, if you need directions to go anywhere, never ask a bus driver or a taxi driver. Why? Because they're not as nice as you would think they would be to tourists or anyone in particular. The family I was living with told me that they don't particularly care for Costa Ricans as well. Anyone who asks them too much questions, they tend to shoo off. Excuse me. They tend to shoo, or I don't know. I just don't like being asked questions. I tried this one time, and I was pleasantly surprised at the reaction of the bus driver, which he didn't even say a word. He didn't even speak a word to me. He just, shh, get away. So yeah, if you want to know directions to anywhere, you need to get the directions before you actually go to that place that you want to go. Which leads me into my 4th thing on the list. Costa Ricans give bad directions. This is very true because, alright, for example, if you want to go somewhere and you ask Costa Rican for directions, they will tell you in Spanish, obviously they will tell you, okay, travel 50 metros down the street. When you get to a rock that it's color blue, turn left. When you get to the tree that's white, turn right. Then when you get to this pole, turn left again. Then and that, I don't see that as good direction, because I mean you'll get lost like a numerous amount of times if you actually try to follow. And they have the system as you have to know the amount of meters to go, metros, the meters. For example, you want to go to a certain place, you have to know actually how many meters it is from the corner. They would say 50 metros de la esquina. How would you know how much 50 metros is? I mean, it's just that way. Costa Ricans understand it. I don't, because yes, it's different cultures. But also, you can ask them how many blocks you need to go, and that'll probably give you a better direction. I also wanted to say that if you want to go anywhere, you have to ask directions. Yeah? So make sure the directions are clear, because you could get lost. But there are always other people that ask. Just don't ask like too many strangers. Just don't get yourself kind of problems in terms of that situation. Alright. Oh, and another thing. I've never seen a street name in Costa Rica. Streets don't have names. You have to actually know a landmark on the street. You have to know what the landmark is. Like I think every community has a plaza, right? And around that plaza, there's always a church and a school. So if you ever get lost, you actually have to look for the plaza where the church is, if you recognize the church, or if there's a school. There's always a plaza, which is like a place that they play football, which is soccer. And there's always a church near the plaza, and there's always a school near the plaza. So that's how they have the community set up. So number 5. Alright, this is something I knew for a very long time. When I was here back in 2006, I thought it was very strange, but now I've gotten used to it, so it isn't that strange anymore. Never throw toilet tissue into the toilet bowl. Never. That's just a rule. If you do number 1, it doesn't matter if you do number 1 or if you do number 2. Never throw the toilet tissue into the toilet bowl. you have to throw the toilet tissue into the basura, the garbage bin, and they always have a garbage bin next to the toilet bowl, so you can actually um, just easily throw it in there. And this is not unique to any one family. It actually happens. I've lived with a few families, and I actually noticed that this happens everywhere. So just a warning: never throw the toilet tissue in the toilet bowl. It clogs up their toilet bowls. I don't think they have. I think because of all the mountains, I don't think they have good plumbing, underground plumbing. Okay, number 6. Be very careful on the streets because Costa Ricans drive crazy. That's just the long and short of it. They drive crazy. I was, for example, I was on the bus. The bus driver nearly hits a guy, and the guy says, "Está loco?" And another time, I was on a bus, and this guy, the bus turned into a corner, and the guy was coming out of the parking on the side near the sidewalk. He was coming from the parking. He was driving in the front of the bus, but he didn't see the bus, so the bus nearly hit him. So I mean, I couldn't even see how a person would not be careful because buses usually come to that corner. So that was very weird. And another thing, I was crossing the street one day and the car would not stop. I nearly got grazed, and it was weird. They don't stop you, like they just keep on going. So be very careful. And if you notice another, I saw this woman driving a car. Like I was looking, because I needed to cross the street, so I was looking at the cars and what they were doing. Right, she puts on a blinker to turn right, but then she turns left. It's weird. And other car, they seem like they would stop a third of the way into the street to look to see if any other cars come in and then go. And that's very dangerous because you can get clipped by other cars. Yeah, and I've seen a couple accidents happen too. So yeah, Costa Ricans, I mean, this is not a negative. I mean, it's a negative thing, but I'm not trying to down them. But it's just reality of the situation. They just drive by. Number 7. Okay. When you go to a restaurant or a public place like a church, there's no problem with animals coming into that place. Like just today, I went with the family that I'm staying with in Heredia, and we went to mass. Now I'm not a Catholic, but Catholic. You can tell that I'm not a Catholic. I can't even pronounce the word. But I'm not a Catholic. Catolicismo. Católico. I'm not a Catholic, but I went with them because just to be nice. So we enter the church. We all sit down. It's like 50 people in the church. The dog walks in through the side door. Everyone's sitting down now, and I think the bishop is about to speak. Everyone's sitting down. The dog enters the church, walks up and down the aisles, then walks onto the altar, walks around, sniffs a little bit. The table, sniffs under the table that they do the communion service on. Where they prepare the communion, and then walks around a little bit more on the altar, then leaves. No one even cracks, looks around. No one even looks at the dog. Basically, they just it seemed so surreal because it's almost as though the dog didn't even exist. I was pretty conscious of it because it's not normal to happen. So dog walking in the church. In my country, that dog would be stoned. um. Oh, in another situation, I was in actually twice this happened. I was in a restaurant and like three dogs were just laying on the ground, and people were eating their food, and no one said anything. It was just basically another day at the restaurant. Another time I was in the restaurant with my friends. This was back in 2006 when I came down as a student. Exchange program. The We were in a restaurant and a cat just walked up to us, and we all thought it strange because that would never happen in a restaurant in the Bahamas. Matter of fact, if that ever happened in a restaurant, we would say that restaurant was very dirty, or we would try to boycott the restaurant. So yeah, I mean it's not strange to Costa Ricans, but strange to I guess it would be strange to foreigners. All right. So number 8, there are no laundromats in Costa Rica. Now, oh, I think one of the families said there were one. There was one, but usually there are no laundromats in Costa Rica, and the reason is because many Costa Ricans have um, washers in the houses, and they just dry their they have a clothesline outside that they dry the clothes. Um, and I think in the rainy season they have like an inside compartment where they dry their clothes. So there's no problem having washers. I don't think they buy the dryers too much. But the thing is this is strange because in my country they have like the laundromats, wash houses, they're everywhere. So I mean, if someone wants to venture into business into business in Costa Rica, you can actually open up wash houses. And the thing is, you'll have to create the market. Now, the only way you'll be able to create a market like that is that if you convince Costa Ricans that it'll be cheaper for them to wash in the wash houses as opposed to in their houses to save electricity bill, or save on their electricity bill, uh, or perhaps in the rainy season they wouldn't have to dry their clothes outside. Instead, they'll maybe better to dry their clothes inside in a dryer. All right, so I think that's number 8. Number 9. Number 9. If you need certain parts of your glasses fixed, the opticals will do it for free. I was in Alajuela and I needed a screw. I needed a screw because my screw came out the night before because I was an idiot and slept with my glasses on, which is something I rarely do. And one of the screw came out, so I had to get my screw repaired. I thought it was going to cost me a little. I didn't think it was going to cost me much, but it cost me something. I walked into this optical in Centro Comercial. I was like, yeah, I'll do it for free. No problem. Con gusto. And they also fixed, like I had these two missing right here. These two, when it sits on your nose, I had those missing, and they gave me those for free. I said, wow, I love Costa Rica. Yeah. I think in any other country they'll charge you for doing that little service. So that was very interesting to me. Okay, so another service that I really like in Costa Rica is that you can get your hair cut. Tu pelo. You can get your hair cut for little to nothing, or for nothing. You can actually get your hair cut for about $2, or you can get it cut for free. There's a place here in Heredia that cuts hair for free, and obviously in Centro Comercial, because they're learning how to cut hair, and they're learning how to, like, there's these women that are learning how to cut hair and learn how to dress other women's hair. So it becomes, I guess, it's free. It's a free service as long as they get the opportunity to cut your hair. Now, I'm not saying that it's going to be a good cut because it's free, and obviously things that are free don't necessarily come in quality. I had to actually, like, redo my hairline with my own cutter, but it's a free service. Why not try it? And like I said, you can get a haircut for like $2 if you want. No problem. Alright, that would be number 11. Schools in Costa Rica begin at different times. Now, I found this very, very, very strange, because in my country, usually I'm not talking about university school. I'm talking about school, like primary school, high school. We call them colegio. So yeah, schools start in my country at 9 a.m. and they all end at 2 a.m. At 3 p.m. in the afternoon, right? Every school. But in Costa Rica, schools begin at different times. So if, for example, if you're a child in Costa Rica that's going to school, maybe you will have school from 7 to maybe 12, or 12 to 2, from 7 to 12, or from 7 to 2, or you will have school from, what was it? I think it was 11 to 5 or something like that. It's like rare times. Like, I was like, wow. And when I stayed in Alajuela, they mixed it up. So for 1 week you would go to school from 7 to 12, and the next week you would go to school from 11 to 5, and then the next week you go like 7 to 12. But here in Alajuela, I think they do it consistently, whereas the students go to school from 7 to 12, 7 to 12 every week. So that's very interesting to know. Alright, this next thing I observed, and it comes from the first thing on my list, which was number 1, the bars and the houses. Therefore, number 12 is Costa Ricans are very fearful people. I don't like. It's a difference between being fearful and being careful. Now, you can't even walk on the street without Costa Ricans like eyeing you suspiciously. Obviously, I'm black. I don't think that has anything to do with it. I don't think black. There are too many races in Costa Rica, but I guess they just distrust. Not foreigners, but strangers. I mean, in any community, in any society, you have to be cautious of strange people that you see walking around. But like, it just seems to me that they're just, I don't know, out of their mind free. I was in the park one day, and usually I go to the park and I just sit down on the benches, and when someone comes up and sit down beside me, and I would obviously check the person out and make sure they weren't, to me, seeming to be like crazy or anything. So I would talk to them to practice my Spanish a little bit. But this one time, a family just came up to me and they said, like, and we were talking for a little while, and it's like, don't be too trusting of everyone that you come upon, because before you know it, you'll be trying to figure out where your wallet is. And I thought that was like in a place where like hundreds of people were sitting down in the park. thought it was very strange because why would someone try to and the thing is, I'm not a scary person. I'm into anything you into. I'll fight. I don't play. But the thing is, like, I found it very strange because I mean, in a park, like 100 people sitting down, I don't think someone will come up to you and try to steal your water or something. I don't know. It's just a different society, different cultural norms, I guess. I don't know. But all right, so my 13th thing is that's actually thing number 13. All right, so Costa Rican food, though it can be delicious, you have to change your taste a little if you come from a society where like a lot of food is cooked with spices and with like salt and like a lot of different spices to make the food have taste. Costa Rican food doesn't have the variety the variety of taste that I'm used to. But I mean, I never complain. I'm just glad that I'm eating well and have food. But if you're from society that the food is kind of cooked differently, you can kind of, I guess if you're just coming in for the first time, you can kind of like be disappointed a little bit about the food. But it's nothing really to worry about. It's just the food is a little bit fresh. They don't cook with too many spices. All right. So number 14, Costa Ricans are very hospitable people. Despite them being fearful, once they get to know you, they're very. The fact of the matter is, Costa Ricans all over the country allow students into their home who they don't know. Obviously, the student, if they come to a program, they have to trust the program that the program wouldn't let people enter that are crazy or psychos or anything. And obviously, when you're entering into a program like that, the program sets you up with families that have children and kids around, so they would have to be careful in that situation. But overall, like Costa Ricans are very hospitable people. They'll take you around town. They'll let you check out the area that you're living in, whatever. And it can be very, very, very a very good experience if you're with the right family. But overall, my experiences have been good. I had one experience where the family was it was just really interesting. But overall, I've had good experiences with living with Costa Ricans. I would say they're very hospitable people. Now, my last thing on my list of 15 things that you should know before you come to Costa Rica is that Costa Rica is a very beautiful place to be. So if you come here, make sure that you make some time to go on some tours to see some of the places. I've been to places in Monteverde, Alajuela, Heredia, been to San Jose, todo. Montañas, beautiful. I've been to like a farm that just Finca de Mariposas, butterfly farm. Been to Finca de Rena, frog farm. I've been to Rio de Sarapiqui, River. That's in they call it. It's a town called Sarapiqui. I've been to the Santa Elena Forest up in the area. I've also checked out a lot of food churches in Costa Rica, so I've got to see some partying. I don't even want to talk about that, dude. That's a different story altogether. But yeah, like if you get a chance, don't don't miss out on going on some of the tours that the Costa Ricans provide. So yeah, if you come to Costa Rica, you'll enjoy your time here. It's a very beautiful place. It's much just very lot. There's very there's a lot of things to see, to do. So you'll probably never be bored. So yeah, thanks for watching my video again, and I'll see you soon. Ciao.